doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, welcome to the People's Weekly, August 3rd, is it? Yep. And I'm here with Canadian Glenn. What's up, Glenn?
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, Glenn. How's everything going?
People suck. Otherwise, it's not so bad.
I agree. People suck. So yeah, let's get through all the announcement stuff real quick. So what's going on with the view up here?
I only got 2 more shows before I go on my annual holiday. There's no real lineup. Just, whatever's ready to go, goes. That's it. There's no plan,
It's the annual Glenn holiday again?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, what do we have going on with People's Radio? We have this show. Like a week ago, I did 2 My Non-Objective Opinion shows. One with Scotty 79er about his ordeal, getting arrested, way back with the Sandra Bland case. I'd encourage people to listen to that, support Scotty. And I did, the one before that was with PM Beers about live streaming and activism in Los Angeles. So, hey, Stuart's in the chat. How are you?
Those are both good shows, man. I listened to them. Good job.
Thank you. So yeah, tomorrow we may have, it's looking like we're going to have a show where we're going to have call-ins from DC again. Well, not again, we've done it before with other stuff, but this is for that Unite the Right, quote-unquote, or Nazi rally, as the rest of the people call it. There's going to be one in Portland, I think, and there's going to be one in DC. We're going to cover the one in DC, unless we find some people in Portland that want to call in too, and we'll try to cover both of them. I don't know if it's going to be quick update kind of thing, a short little maybe 30-minute or thing, or it's going to be longer with a lot of people calling in or talking on the mic or whatever. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow together. There was something else too. Oh yeah, I was going to say, we're going to talk about Occupy ICE real quick. Go down and support the Occupy ICE camps in your area, wherever you are. And especially if you're in LA, well, not especially, but if you're in LA, come down. The camp really needs support. They need people there. They need food. They need water. They need the same things they've always needed. And they need bodies. And it just seems like, the kids crying on the audio tape isn't in the news anymore. Everybody doesn't give a shit anymore. They've all moved on to whatever madness Trump is doing and blah, blah, blah. But there's still families being locked up. There's still videos of immigration snatching up old men violently and not willing to show any IDs, just literally kidnappings. A child just died in Texas. We're going to talk about that. And, it's insane. They're building these concentration camps slowly, putting them all together. And y'all said, we put in 2 weeks over here, 3 weeks, and we're done with this. We're going to move on to the next big thing. Screw that. Stick with the last big thing until we solve it, man. And this is a good thing to start with. Abolish ICE. Imagine if we could abolish ICE. And what could we abolish next? Police departments, military. I mean, there's so many things that need abolishment. Let's start and follow through on at least one. At least one of the most useless ones and vicious and horrible and fascist-like. Not that the other ones aren't, but this is just horrible. Come back to the camps. Get involved. If you were involved and you're not, what the fuck are you doing? Get back. If you weren't involved, what the fuck are you doing? Get over there. They're happening in all these cities across the country. There's police coming harassing people. There's all kinds of stuff. Some people are being attacked by Nazis. They need you. Whoever you are. If you're out there listening, they need you. Get your asses down to the nearest local Occupy ICE. It's that simple. Sorry for my rant, Glenn.
Well, it just shows that there's absolutely no stopping the decline and even leveling out for this administration, because the latest thing I've seen is now that more than one court has told them that they better get this reunification done. Now the White House thinks that the ACLU should do all the work of reunification.
Yeah. I saw
It's
that.
not their problem. Well, let's take a metaphor. So, let's say that I invade your town and I take some people away and I split families up and I ship half of the families away. I don't keep any records. Fuck that. And then you get into court and the court says, yeah, you can't do this. You got to bring these people back. And then I say, yeah, well, fuck that. We're leaving. You find them. That's exactly what's happening. This is just beyond any sort of logical explanation.
It's sheer madness, man. It's insane.
This is the kind of shit that's supposed to happen in these tin pot dictator third world countries that you see in all the movies. You know, whether they exist or not is another question. But I mean, this shit is not supposed to happen in the so-called shining light on the hill, the world's greatest democracy. Like, it just amazes me that it never levels out. It just keeps getting more ridiculous. And apparently the American public is fine with having their own Einsatzgruppen running around their country. So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. It gets pretty hard to come up with anything new.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's set up like that. Boom, this happened. Everybody jump on it and go out to your big march or whatever and think you did something. And then the next thing comes to do the same thing. Stick with something, man. The police have been killing people. They haven't stopped. ICE is snatching people up off our streets at alarming rates. They haven't stopped. What the hell are y'all doing? Quit waiting for the next thing and stick with something for once. It's really pissing me off, man.
Well, this is like a cat and a laser.
Exactly.
That's all it is, man.
Or Olive and a laser, oddly enough. She loves lasers.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Chase the thing up and down, never stop. And then
But yet
you're never going to catch it.
And the cat never gives up.
Yeah.
No matter what, the cat will always go for that goddamn spot of laser. Even though it knows it disappears if it touches it, and it can never catch it, but it'll still keep going.
Yeah, Olive adds a cool little twist. If the laser goes away, she'll start trying to dig through whatever surface is there with her claws to try to see if she can uncover it.
Well, that makes sense for a dog.
Yeah. So that's funny.
Cats just sit there and look at where it was and go, what the fuck?
I don't know how it's going. I only have Olive as a point of reference. And maybe some cats on the internet.
I mean, cats just stop. And they're like, okay, well, what the fuck was that? Wait a minute. It was here, now it's not here. The fuck's going on? Human, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Hey, Glenn, since we were on the whole ICE thing and all that, you want to go to number 2 first and talk about that and then move up because it's kind of relevant now? Or do you want to stay in order? It's up to you.
You are the one who reads the list, man. It's up to you.
Okay, fine. Let's go to number 2. I want to be decisive for once. The reports of abuse, drugging, brainwashing of immigrant children. Now a child has died in a Texas detention center. How much worse will this get? And can it be stopped? How can we stop it? I can't read, obviously.
Well, maybe it's because I've been on the internet for so long, or some of the, might as well call them what they are, ops that I've been involved in. anytime any system like this is set up, the first bad thing I think of is all the abusers that get into the system. And because everything's for profit, there's no such thing as transparency or recourse. These are perfect places for predators to get jobs. And if they're white, and if they're herder, they took our gerbs, well, then they're going to fit right in. And that's all it takes. So, I mean, I don't see how anybody can be surprised that this sort of thing is going on. What the fuck do you expect? But that it's taken so long, and it's just such a, well, it's not my kids. That is just unbelievable. I just can't comprehend that. Because I just don't get it why nobody thinks, well, no, it's not your kids this time. But if this isn't stopped and these people are caught, it could be next time. You know?
Yeah, I just put out a tweet about some dangerous, illegal alien criminal. I'm using that because that's the term the racists use. I'm not calling people illegal or alien. But yeah, and if you see him do this and that, why don't they put their resources toward that? Like, if you want to stop human traffickers, well, ICE is a human trafficking ring, in my opinion, and a lot in the real world, factually, it is.
Yeah.
But why don't you go after the hardcore criminals then? Go find these alleged MS-13 cats that are wreaking havoc all across the country. Go find all these human traffickers, rapists and murderers and drug dealers. Stop snatching up old men and mothers in court and their children, If you want any support at all, you got support from the racists. If you want any kind of support from even just like the Democrats or something, do something like that. It would be more beneficial for them anyway, and it would actually be doing something, and I'd still want to get rid of them, but at the same time, at least they'd have a leg to stand on,
Well, it's just the lack of depth on any one of these theories of the month that comes up. Because it wasn't that long ago that we were being warned that there were towns in Michigan where the whole city council was going to take over and there was going to be Sharia law. And then we get the next one about sleeper cells. And we get the next one about this and that. And now it's on to MS-13. Americans, think about the hundreds of billions of dollars that are spent between DHS, the Bureau, CBP, ICE. How come they're not finding these people? But they sure find lots of other people that just, fuck up their lives. But all these groups and terrorists that you're supposed to be so afraid of, where are they?
Well,
why do they keep arresting veterans and deporting them? Why do they keep arresting people who have been there almost their whole lives, if it's DACA, and they're now out of college, and they're deporting them? Like, don't you people see what a lie this is?
No, I don't think they do. But the thing is, Trump claims to have defeated ISIS single-handedly.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was a time they dressed him up like Rambo and gave him a knife and sent him into the Middle East to fight them.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but there was obviously a parody tweet put out. It had a picture of somebody sitting with a bronze statue of Benjamin Franklin. And they claimed that Franklin said that Trump would make a great president. And the first response was from a magatard who said, "You're a liar. Franklin never said that." This is the depth.
Wait. They're saying that Benjamin Franklin made a quote about Donald Trump. Do they know he's dead, or do they think this is some Frederick Douglass guy?
Well, that's just it. The original tweet was, you know, you want to be ridiculous? Here, let's see what they do with this. And the first response was merely that, no, Franklin did not say that.
Oh, okay. Just some false quote. Someone was screwing around, and they went. Okay, I haven't seen it. That's why I don't know.
They didn't even catch on to the, you know, more than 200-year time warp that would be required for that. That's not the issue. The issue is that he didn't say that.
Wow.
This is the intellectual level that these people are demanding that they know what they're talking about. You know, like Dunning-Kruger, man. Holy fuck, it's everywhere.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about how crazy these guys are in a little while when we get to the Q Anon part. But, yeah, it's insane, dude. It's like they're snatching people up, they're throwing them in the camps. And you're right, like, what was it, like, not that long ago, man. It was, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe less. All the right-wing people were all saying, oh, there's this thing, they're taking over the Walmarts, they're going to build concentration camps, they're going to lock us all up, Obama's going to rule us like a dictator and do all this and that. Now they actually have concentration camps, and those same people don't seem to care because it's not for the whites, so it doesn't affect us.
And I think that says a lot, too, because the only reason that they generated all that bullshit panic was it wasn't a white man in the White House.
So this is the exact reverse. How do you think those other people feel? The non-white people getting locked up into the concentration camps by the white people. Do you think they feel any different than you would under a black evil dictator locking your white ass up? Probably not. Yeah. So why don't you stand up for humanity, man? They're saying they're just like you. They're people. They're going to go and suffer. They're going to be miserable. They're in concentration camps in the United States. Shouldn't matter who's in them. It should be not tolerated by anybody. Everyone should be standing up. Those gun nuts should be breaking these cats out. You know what I mean? In their big trucks with the American flags and the Patriot whatever on it. Because they should be saying, no, this isn't what this country is about, even in our sick, demented. You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's the difference right there, though. I mean, if that was happening, then I would say, yes, the United States is a republic. But it's not happening. And that's why I currently say that the United States is a false democracy with corporate fascism.
AKA a shithole.
I mean, that's the reality. That's what fascism does. Scream about law and order and fuck over as many people as they possibly can.
Yeah, so what do you think we can do looking down on us, Glenn? From up the view up there.
I don't know what it's going to take to get these, especially these child detention centers, closed down. I have no idea what it's going to take because there's a lot of money involved. And that's the thing, again, nobody wants to talk about. But I mean, this has been going on for what, 3 months? Well, how many hundreds of millions of dollars have gone out the door to run these fucking places? So, you know, if you get protests maybe in, say, Phoenix, well, we have an operator who has a couple properties in Carson City. You know, they'll just keep moving them around. They're going to keep the money going. That's the scariest thing about when a government starts a big program like this. People get addicted to the money real fast. And it's a circle. You give us the contract, we donate to the party, we donate to your campaign, blah, 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 circle jerk.
Sorry. Wax. But no, you're right. It's they got to take the money out of politics. They got to rein in these companies. But that shit's strong. Wow. Anyway, they got to They got to change if they. I don't even know, man, because you know me, I just want to fight everything and tear down the whole system because I'm an anarchist. But within their system, they at least got to pull in the reins and say, look, y'all can't do this. Like, it has to be illegal for businesses to do some things. And it seems like they can pretty much do any damn thing they want, pay off a fine that won't hurt them, and move right along and keep doing what they were doing in maybe a different way.
Well, I mean, that's become a part of corporate risk assessment ever since Reagan now. It's, I mean, especially up here with the oil and gas industry, there are a lot of big oil corporations that in their risk assessment, they will simply break environmental laws. They know they will get caught, and they budget the biggest penalty possible. And that's in their business model. That's cheaper to them than actually preventing the pollution that the law is going to punish them for. So when that's an accepted part of the way the system works, and the government knows it, but they don't make the laws stronger, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the thing about the Trump administration to, let's say, a hypothetical Clinton administration, I think the Clinton administration would have been more business as usual. The bombings by the U.S. military would have increased, the drones would have increased, but there wouldn't be this war on people in the U.S. It would be more business as usual. The Trump administration is like last call. Grab everything you can get. We don't have much time. That's the difference to me, what I see.
I mean, I've said this, and we've all said this before, that when Trump came in, people realized how terrible he is because he doesn't pretend to be kind. His family looks horrible, evil, twisted, demented. Like no one like if they were just normal people on your block, they'd be the people you didn't want to kick it with. You never the whole block kind of stay away from. Like holy shit, there's racist, weird looking, creepy people down there. We don't want to be around them. But
no, I think it's just it's a management strategy.
No, but I'm saying the people's perception. Obama smiled. He had a nice looking family. He was intelligent, and he could get away with evil shit that people wouldn't get so mad about. Whether they do something or not, they're angry. They're more angry at Trump, and it's just aesthetics.
Well, it is and it isn't, because there are more than enough people that know how evil Obama was. But what I'm saying is, Obama didn't decide to start arresting and deporting people who had been in the U.S. for 20 years, who are paying taxes, who are employed. You know, he didn't do that because it doesn't make sense. And he didn't, I mean, the Republicans love to scream that this rule was on the books for years about they have the right to separate families. But it was just simply wasn't done.
Just because you have the right doesn't mean you have to do it.
But that's what I mean. So would Clinton be splitting families? No. You know, it's just the extra steps that are in your face. I'm in charge. Fuck everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
You know, and I mean, it's desperation. Why? What is the rush? What is going on? And, you know, if you can keep the tornado spinning, then nobody can see what's on the other side of it.
Yeah. Man, it's just, I don't know. Something has to be done. Stuff like this doesn't get better.
Well, we come back to the same thing every time, man. You know? Like you said, why aren't more people at camps? Why aren't more people in the streets? Why aren't more people visible against what's going on? And
except the one big march with the celebrities again, because as Glenn says, feels.
That's right. You know, fuck the subject matter. Oh, is he going to be there? Maybe I could get a picture. Fucking bullshit.
And yeah, it's mind-boggling. Like, it seems like there's so many different ways to solve the problem, but pretty much all of those ways demand a lot of bodies.
I mean, you can look back at every genocide in the last 300 years. There's a lot of common things, man, and it didn't happen overnight. That was just a result, you know, and there's no denying that what the United States is doing is going down that path. You start doing stuff like this inside your own country, there's going to be a huge problem. Even South Africa, same thing. South Africa, the Balkans, when Yugoslavia broke up, the Armenians, the Ukrainians by the Soviets. You can go on and on and on. It all adds up, builds up the same way, with misinformation, excessive force, supremacy of law and order. And, you know, the sad fact of it is most of humanity likes a little bit of authority. Some of them like way too much religion. But, you know, I mean, it's not hard. We're consistent. People are consistently fucking stupid. And they don't learn. And they don't remember. And they don't think it's going to be them.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. I mean, like we say this all the time. It's like nothing more to say, and I think about it like it's like people are going to do what they want to do. I can scream at them all day, and it's the same thing, you know. It's like you could tell people, "Oh, show up. We'll have a big protest over here." 5 people show up, but then they say, "Oh, we have permits, and we're going to have these celebrities, and there's going to be a march, and the police are going to lead us down the street in the direction they want us to go and block off all the streets in a way that kind of keeps the city moving." Everyone's there for the latest thing, but like, yeah, we really out here in the streets doing this. It's like, oh, where is everybody? Well, what's happening? Is there an award show? Is there a sporting event? Something more important than freedom for all the people?
Yes, there is something more important. My Facebook might get 100,000 likes when I post this video.
Man, shoot videos there. No one's saying you can't shoot videos at an action.
Oh, but it's not the in thing. That's going to make me a radical, not a righteous protester who came to see a celebrity.
Yeah, it's just weird, man.
It's a cult of personality, man. It's top to bottom through all facets of society. It's the way it's made.
I mean, that's fine if you want celebrities. Like, any celebrities can always come to LA, and I think what we can do is just do it the right way. Wait until it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. Pick a busy street in the middle, you know, somewhere. Block it all off. So it's going to do a lot of damage. Set up the whole stage. Set up everything. So it'll take like hours to tear it all down. And just start throwing a concert in the middle of the street, blocking the whole thing off. And people will come. And then tell the people what you want them to do, since they only listen to famous people. You know what I mean? Like, hey, what if we just rush those cops over there and show them they shouldn't be here? What if we took over this building? Let the famous people lead some shit. Let's do it.
You think there's not repercussions for that? I got 2 words for you. Colin Kaepernick.
So what?
Yeah, well, that's not why these people are doing what they do. They're doing it because they're getting fucking rich and they're famous. That's why they're doing it.
I mean, Colin Kaepernick is awesome and he lost a lot, but the thing is, the people are still rich. They can still do this stuff. They can afford to do stuff we could never do. Why not?
There's just not enough people who feel that way. They want more. They don't want to stop the gravy train.
I mean, how many millions and millions and millions of dollars do you really need to live your life? How much longer are you going to live with all that money? What's it going to do for you? What is all that money going to do when I bring down capitalism single-handedly? It's just going to be paper after that. They don't understand. They got to learn.
They're in a different game than normal people, and it's not a very logical one.
Yeah. I remember I posted some stuff on YouTube from an old protest I was at a long time ago in Louisiana. And I remember, I think at the time, Most Def was Most Def back then. He was there. There were a couple other people there. But I remember he was talking. I seen a video afterwards. I didn't see him say it live, but I saw a video of him there afterwards. Someone else had shot a video. And he said, he was like, you see all these black rappers talking about black people's rights and all this and that. He goes, right now we're fighting for the rights of some black people, and where the hell are they? He goes, in their music video, they got helicopters and limos and Hummers and airplanes, private jets. He goes, but I don't see a helicopter landing on top of the courthouse. I don't see private jets coming up in here. I don't see all these limos lining up. Where the hell are they? You know what I mean? Are they all too busy to give a damn? And that's real, man. That's how some of these people are.
Exactly.
Well, he was out there with the people, just walking around,
That's the difference.
Yeah. And yeah, that was. I thought it was really. I thought about it then because I was working. I work sometimes with some famous people. So, I think about that. Like, why don't they do this stuff? Why don't they do at least what we do? They always talk about this and that. But I remember I was in with a really pretty big-time black producer, and he was in his 60s back then. I mean, he couldn't remember Martin Luther King Jr.'s name.
Wow.
He was trying to, like, who's that guy? I had a dream speech. I really can't. And we all looked at him like, what?
Wow.
Like, everybody's like, wow, you don't know Martin Luther King Jr.'s name. You a rich-ass, black, famous dude, and you don't know Martin Luther King Jr.'s name.
The first question I would have asked is, are you on any sort of hallucinogen so you could possibly have forgotten?
He was one of them gospel, no drugs, no nothing, very clear-headed. He didn't even say forgot. He was like, oh. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, I haven't heard that name in 90 years or something. I was like, well, whatever, dude. You just...
Well, I would have to call somebody like that Lord Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was. I mean, this guy screwed black people over for a living out of money and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, let's get off him. He pisses me off.
Well, how much worse will this get? Who knows? It'll get as bad as people let it get. Can it be stopped? Anything can be stopped. Do the people have the stomach for it? Do they give a fuck?
Well, here's the thing. If you allow these people to run detention centers or internment camps or concentration camps or whatever they're called, and they don't let media in, they don't let anybody in, they don't even let some politicians in, they're totally unaccountable for anything they do there. Nobody knows what's going on there. What do you think's going to start to happen? You think they're going to treat everybody nice? What happens if there's an uprising? You think they're just going to calm the people down and try to do things right? Or, there's going to be deaths, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse.
And the more privatized it is, the easier it is to keep secrets.
And there's already been a death.
I mean, I don't understand. Again,
lots of deaths, but an infant death now, a toddler death.
But again, this is just the lack of the American public having a memory. Doesn't everybody remember the riots at the detention camps in Miami when all the Cubans came in the 80s? Doesn't anybody remember the riots when they tried to do that to Native Americans in certain places? Doesn't anybody remember the Japanese internment camps in the Second World War? 98% of them American citizens. I mean, you know what's going to happen. What if there's an Attica at one of these detention centers? Then what?
Yeah. I'm all down with the Attica, but I'm not down with the. I mean, I'm down with the protest, but I'm not down with the treatment and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how it happens.
Because what are they
You
going to
know?
do? Yeah, they're gonna. There's no doubt they could. I mean, they could get away with slaughtering a lot of people, and nobody would know. Because that's what happened with this baby, Glenn.
Yeah,
No one
it
knows
was poor treatment.
this baby. They're saying, well, since we don't know the baby's name, we can neither confirm or deny that it died. But we don't have any deaths here. How does that work? And then there's a dead baby still. Somebody lost their kid already. They're not going to ever see their kid again. And they don't know. Everyone, how many people with toddlers in there are wondering now, is my baby alive or dead or what?
Oh, this is just one more loaf that the ACLU is going to have to pick up and deal with because the government won't do shit.
And then how many adults or teenagers have died that we don't even know about yet? I mean, we have reports of some, but I mean, it's. And what was the cause of their death? And are they investigating if it's suspicious?
How many teen girls are already in the sex trades?
Yeah, oh, that one girl was getting molested by an older kid in there, and they made her sign a paper saying she stay away from him. Dude, it's terrible. They're indoctrinating these kids. They have them having to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, that's total Hitler-Jugend bullshit right there.
And then the kids are going back disturbed. I think they're giving them drugs.
Yeah.
There's reports about that. They're drugging the kids to keep them calm.
Well, can you imagine if DHS even has to submit a piece of paper on how much money they spend on pharmaceuticals? I doubt it.
Man.
You know, so I mean, Big Pharma is in this now. Oh, fuck, crank it up. Open some more. This is great business.
Yeah,
I mean, this is part of how Hitler's war machine got so strong so fast. Because all these German corporations figured, yeah, finally, let's make some coin. Don't stop. Sell them everything.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what these dang people. Hey, you know what? Since we have such a huge audience base, and most celebrities happen to listen to our show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Any celebrities out there that want to come and just set up a stage in the middle of Alameda or Aliso in downtown LA, or right on the corner there, you can have a lot of people to help you. Just throw a concert, shut down the city for a day. We'd appreciate that. And we're not going to pay you anything. You're going to do it because it's the right thing to do, or you're not going to do it. There you go. So I expect LA to be shut down Monday morning by all the biggest bands that we know, because they care about the immigrant children and they care about the cause for real.
Sure.
Yep. If you can go on a talk show, you can shut down LA. And I don't even care which celebrities. I don't even give a dang what you do. I don't care if you're a famous juggler. Come down, set up a big ass stage with pyrotechnics and a lot of balls and start juggling. Whatever.
But anything. See, no, you're skipping the part that they think about. If they actually do that, they'll never be on another talk show.
Now you're killing it, Glenn. Celebrities. He's a Canadian. He's weak and dishonest. Listen to me. Bring your ass down there.
I'm just explaining why they won't be there.
Oh, they will. They're my fans.
Okay.
All right.
Pixar GTFO.
Hey, it was worth a try, man. It's on the internet, you know. Some celebrity might be really high and drunk one night and listen to this shit because he saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, maybe Axl Rose will show up.
But yeah, I mean, you know.
For example,
any band. I don't know. Sal Murillo can go and talk to a bunch of people with a police.
Now that would be cool.
With the police escort and permits, and give little speeches and poems. Come out and shut down LA. Do it for real. Practice what you preach.
Well, before we're done with this, that's just another thing that blows my mind. I don't understand how these people think that any sort of protest that pays money for permits and has their route approved by the police department, it's not a protest.
It's a parade.
If that.
Yeah. Someone told me that it's not a protest, it's a parade.
It's a cattle drive. That's all it is. You know? I mean, even the Occupy here in my city, the cops asked for a route. We said, we don't know. Well, what do you mean you don't know? You got to have a plan. No, we don't know. So, I mean, you know, they were only like 100 yards in front of us, blocking intersections the whole time because we just didn't feel like telling them. And they all thought that we were setting up camp at one place, and we set up another place. And they had absolutely nobody there, no measures taken, no barricades, no nothing.
You know what? It's like... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, you know, cooperation doesn't get you any advantage. That's the bottom line, and nobody wants to say that. Cooperating with the police does not get you any bonus.
Yeah, you know, it's like when they shot up the white kids in Florida, and then they had the massive March for Our Lives thing.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many people in LA, man. How come they didn't say, look, what we're going to do here is, if you're on this, because they started off, it was like this whole place in the intersection was all blocked off. And then the police had it blocked off around so cars could move. But what if they said, look, if you're on this side over here between this street and this street, you're going to march that way. If you're over here, you're going to march this way. If you're on this street and this... So people, these massive groups of 5,000, 8,000 people start marching in 4 different directions, shutting everything down. That would throw them off so bad. But no, They all went the same direction. All went where they had to go, where they were approved.
Yep.
Right down to the stages, everything was set up. The police were lined up waiting past it. I mean, it was like ridiculous. Do you know what you could have done to shut down the entire city with those kind of people if they had just went 4 different ways in groups? That would have made a statement. Way more than all the speeches and the dancing and the barbecues and the...
It demonstrates how much commitment that the majority actually have to the cause. Not much. I got 3 hours for you. Where are we going? This way? Yeah, okay, good, I'm in. Is it over? Okay, I gotta go. You know?
I mean, last minute. One of those people on the stage should have said, look, we're starting to march right now. Screw what they saying. No. Y'all go this way. You guys here. Get everyone cheering. You know what I mean? If you're over here, you cheer. If you're over here, you cheer. Now, the people cheer here. Start walking this way. People cheering here. Start walking that way. People cheering here. Start walking that. Now you got the whole city shutting down. The police are going crazy. No one knows what's happening, and nothing's moving.
But that only happens when your entire crowd is a high school varsity. You get 20-somethings and millennials, and now it's like, oh, wow, now I have to decide. Well, if I go that way, I'm closer to where I live. But that chick I want to talk to is walking that way. Oh, this sucks. Can't we all just go the same way?
Man, that's stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how too many of these people think. They think it's like a free concert in fucking Central Park. That's the problem.
Sometimes it kind of is.
And, you know, I've always said the same thing. Anybody who uses the word reform, tell them to fuck off. The words are change.
Dismantle.
Yes, dismantle.
Destroy.
Rebuild, not reform.
Rebuild comes after destruction.
Yes, but the goal is to rebuild. Anybody who says reform, get a dictionary and look at the difference between build and form.
Stewart said replace. Domino effect.
Yes, okay, there we go. Yeah, replace, for
sure. Do not cooperate with police. Who is this, Judith Poe, or is this somebody else? I don't know.
It's Judith and Nancy.
Oh, they made a conglomerate account. Hello,
Yes.
Nancy and Judith.
Yes.
So yeah,
Well, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that was a super ultra mega tangent.
Yeah, that's what we do best. Right on, Glenn. All right, let's move on. Jeffery Beauregard Sessions announced the Religious Liberty Task Force. Can this erase the separation of church and state? And how much will this help people to not be allowed to persecute Muslims anymore in this country? That'll be awesome, right?
Except that's not what it's about. It's about the exact opposite.
Nope, Religious Liberty Task Force.
Yeah, which
They're going to be in
religious?
front of mosques kicking Trump supporters' asses.
No.
Oh, wait. Maybe I misread what it was supposed to be.
Did you watch the report on Fox, or?
I'm just being sarcastic because we all know it only gives a damn about one religion.
I mean, I just want to clarify first that his name is Jefferson.
Jefferson Beauregard Sessions, you're right.
You know, so he's named after one of the most famous racists the United States has ever produced.
And he hasn't disappointed.
Well, he's got a lot to live up to. The Harper government in Canada tried this. And they spent a lot of money setting it up, and they appointed somebody to it who is actually a theologian. And because, you know, that would be equal weight for all the religions. And they lost and got booted out before it could really do anything, and it got shut down immediately. But that was called, they actually made it an ambassador position. And this guy was a ambassador at large, representing the freedom of religion. But of course, you know, he was completely fucking white bread, and they were only interested in protecting Christianity and Zionism. But during the campaign, they set up a hotline where people could call in about, you know, all these brutal cultural practices that those people do. And it was called the Cultural Practices Hotline or something like that. And they had all these scare tactics about female genital mutilation and the forced dress and all this kind of shit. You know, when I asked them, well, when are nuns going to have to not wear their habit? And of course that resulted in a block. But we've seen this in Canada. And it all depends on the public. In Canada, only the real racists were for this. All the people in the middle, they looked at this and they said, no, fuck that. We're not down with that. So if they want to set this up, this is a huge trial balloon for the American public.
Well, I just wonder about the timing, man. What if they get rid of Trump? They have
And it's Pence.
Yeah, put those two together, man.
Ayatollah Pence.
Exactly. Put those two together. That's exactly what you're going to have, the Christian Ayatollah of the United States.
Well, it's a possibility. I mean, you know, it's not like they're only working on one plan. I mean, any good RICO organization has more than one method of generating what they want.
Well, maybe it's a really, really big, really, really good plan. They don't need anything else.
Yeah, that always works.
That's how I do it.
But yeah, you know, Canadians have seen this song and dance before. I think that runs it to about 6 things that Trump's done that Harper had already tried in Canada. You know, like I said, it's up to the public acceptance of it. This is a huge PR thing, because if they can get this to go over, you better believe they're going to build more camps.
Oh, of course. And it'll be a lot more Arabs being put into the camps.
And they obviously want this established with enough time before midterms to make it an issue.
Man, nothing good can come out of a religious liberty task
No,
force.
no. The founding fathers would be going fucking berserk.
Yeah. Like, what happened to the separation of church and state? Like, they're not even pretending anymore. They're like, look, we want, what is it, Judaic Christian law
Mm-hmm.
to rule the land, everybody else. And how long before they're dragging people to the edge of the city and stoning them to death for all kinds of crazy stuff?
No, they're just taken to the wall.
And shoot them, yeah. But but I'm just going by their book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, now stones are just lead hot rocks.
Phosphorus bombs.
Man.
So I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's up to public opinion, because this is really pushing the limits of even presidential power to start condoning one religion as the official religion of the nation. That's just not supposed to happen in the United States.
It's not supposed to happen anywhere, especially in the United States, has actual rules why it's not supposed to happen.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. That's terrible. I don't know. How do we fight this?
It's going to have to take the old-fashioned way. Emails, phone calls, online petitions.
Because
there are still some good rules in the way the United States is governed, and Obama has put in rules that Trump has not fucked with as far as e-petitions and stuff like that goes. So, I mean, if this issue got enough signatures online to put it on Trump's desk, it could be a big deal. It depends what else is going on that week,
Yeah, but you also have these huge preachers that literally control the minds of these masses, millions of people, millions upon tens of millions upon tens of millions of people. And they're like, God will punish all those who don't stand with Trump. I mean, they're saying stuff like that. Trump is put here by God Almighty himself.
But that percentage is not growing. Everybody knows who they are and where they are. It's the people out there that generally have no fucking opinion are the ones that matter. So if there's enough names that go across members of Congress, goes through their office and their communications, the bottom line is they may be paid to do what they do, but the only way they keep that job is by getting elected. And if they get flooded about something like this, then they're risking their job and their pipeline to all that fringe benefits.
Yeah.
The people can hold their representatives hostage for their privilege, if they choose to.
Yeah, how much more room is there in Canada? Like, how many more people you think we could fit over there?
We're the second largest nation in the world as far as geography goes, and we have under 40 million people in the whole fucking thing.
So you think all of us can move over there?
Well, I'm afraid there may be some aptitude tests first.
No borders. We're coming.
Build the wall.
Yeah. So yeah, I think everyone in the world, let's just all move to Canada together and live happy and free. I think that's the answer.
Well, there would be probably a very large bloodbath for 2 weeks until all the crackers either killed themselves or got killed by other people. And then things would probably be all right.
Then peace, love, unity, and happiness and harmony will
and
prevail
maple syrup.
All through the known earth of Canada.
And maple syrup and hockey.
Yeah, maple syrup and hockey for all. All right, tangent.
Consistent.
All right, let's move on. The white supremacist misinformation campaign called Q Anon is back in the news, creating even crazier conspiracy theories than before, catered to fascists, Nazis, trumpetts, standard racists, and the truly stupid. Why do people believe this garbage, Glenn?
It's because it's the flavor of the month. Isn't it a coincidence that as soon as Alex Jones starts to disappear everywhere, QAnon is promoted everywhere? 4chan, 8chan. This is just the creation of people that are perhaps clinically maniacal. This is just idle people with way too much intelligence and, what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligence and angst. And they're just fucking mean. And you know how this stuff works on 4chan, 8chan, Reddit. You know how this shit rolls. And if it gets...
How the shit rolls or how the shit trolls?
Well, yeah, true enough. But put some money behind it. I mean, look at all the things that have come through Reddit in the last 5 years that never would have gotten a fucking time of day before that platform. You know, so...
Yeah.
If the mainstream media wants to pick this stuff up, the first thing I think is who's making money off that. Because, you know, yeah, QAnon is batshit crazy. Has been from day one. It just gets serious. Can't you guys come up with a better story than this?
Well,
but, you know, people want to buy it. People are going to buy it. What are you going to do about it? I mean, you can't educate people overnight, especially those with earplugs.
Yeah, I mean, they started sending these videos out, so I actually watched one. It's just like that, those, what is that, Prager University commercial, or there's another one, I can't think of the name. They show these commercials on YouTube videos a lot. And they start off trying to make some sense, and then they start twisting facts and truths into something and stretching them beyond belief, but some people stick with it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess any good misinformation starts with a little bit of truth mixed in.
Yeah, and I think in this day and age, there's an advantage of making it seem badass as well. And for the target audience, you know, a lot of them were probably still had no idea what quote-unquote Anon was or is. So if there's a way that they can buy in and be cool, I'm an Anon now. I'm QAnon. Duh.
I'll stick with the was.
You know, I mean, it's very tailored in its branding. That's the thing that I notice. But none of it makes any sense. It's very contradictory as well.
You know what, though? There's some smart people within Anonymous that followed that shit and took off all the way wrong. You know what I mean? I don't understand how it gets people like that. Some people, I mean, some of the people I know were not that stupid. I don't know if they have some agenda or they just, I don't know why you would ever, it just blows my mind, man. Like, how does this stuff really get to people that are intelligent at all? But it does. It gets to them and they believe it.
Well, then there's got to be a trigger too, you know? I mean, you don't just get stupid overnight. Just like you don't get smart overnight. But, you know, I mean, again, it's what else is going on? If people convert that you never thought would have, okay, what else is going on in their lives? Do they have any issues? And again, the one I always ask, are they making any money going this way?
So you're saying Soros is paying the QAnon whack jobs?
Mercer. I'm tired of Soros. I'm going with Mercer and Adelson.
Well, actually, I have a Black American Express with Soros' name on it, according to some guy on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
So I just got to figure out where it is. I must have got lost in the mail.
I hope you got the pin.
I don't have anything. I'm waiting for it. But according to this troll on Twitter, it's coming, so I'm very excited about that.
You should ask him how much his Koch brothers royalty was this month.
Oh man, not.
Well, I love when these guys play this billionaire payment game. Oh man, I got a whole list of them. I have these guys Googling until their laptops are smoking.
I get paid by the Queen of England, and that's the only person. And Stuart filters the money to me in some illegal way. Oh, sorry, Stuart.
Is it through Russia?
I don't know. You have to ask Stuart. Hey, Stuart, where do you launder my money from the Queen? I don't know if he's still here. Oh, there he goes. Oops. I don't know where Oops is. But yeah,
it's in Alabama.
Oops, Alabama. Shoes. Oh no. He's trashing Canadians again.
I think he's saying he puts the money in shoes and ships the shoes.
Oh, Canadian style for sure. I got it.
Back door, eh?
This wax has got me. I'm getting stupider. I think, yep, Glenn had it right. See, leave it to the Canadian to know how to smuggle money in shoes.
Shoes are quite an overlooked piece of the arsenal. That's correct.
Yeah. So yeah, how do we combat this Q Anon thing? Oh wait, hang on. Stuart asked, and once the public wakes up, how can they be made to feel empowered to make a change?
I think they're not going to wake up until it's pretty fucking obvious. It's going to be too late. So I don't think it's going to be pretty obvious. You either do something or you submit.
You send this episode to your local celebrities. That's where you start. And edit out Glenn's part where he says anything bad could happen to them. That's where this starts. Take this show and send it to celebrities. And say...
Come down to the mass protest produced by Walt Disney.
Yeah. You know what? Just lie to them and say you'll pay them, and then don't pay them. And who are they going to... There's so many people that they don't even know who you are. Wear a mask when you talk to them the first time. We got it all figured out.
Oh, no. Nobody shows up anywhere without something signed and some ID. Come on. Because if we don't get paid, how the fuck are we going to sue you?
Man, in the old days, you could do that with a handshake, and I believe the old school is still valid.
Yeah, that sounds like something that the celebrities who show up to protests are not too familiar with.
Oh, okay.
Just my guess.
No, but I fear Glenn is right. There's, people aren't going to do anything until it affects them personally, and it has to affect... Once it affects everybody personally, that's when stuff is so bad. We're already in deep trouble, and it might be even too late by then. So, keep sitting on your asses, people.
Well, again, that's another common part, you know? I mean, for everybody who went to school in the 60s and later, they heard about how so many Germans after the war said we just didn't do anything quick enough, and then it was just too late, you know. And that wasn't even talking about the camps and the exterminations. That was just about how things were run, how you couldn't fuck around, you couldn't be against the government, you had to play ball or you disappeared. You know, they said we just didn't react quick enough. We let it slide. You look at when Yugoslavia broke up. That was because the UN let it get too bad. You know, there's always somebody dragging their fucking ass for this stuff to go down.
Yeah.
But again, what's a common factor? People. So.
Yeah, the people got to do something. Then they panic and say, why didn't anyone tell me? So it says, then they panic and say, why didn't anyone tell me? Yeah. Everyone's been telling them. They just don't want to listen. They've been telling them for years and years and years, way before Bush, Obama, Clinton, people been telling them. Reagan, people been telling them. Before that, I'm sure people been telling them. But they're going to wait. They're just going to keep let it going. Till it hits the damn wall.
Awesome.
Always assuming someone else would do it. Yeah, they are. They're always assuming someone else would do it. But who else is there if everyone's waiting for somebody else?
You know, that's funnier than hell. That just explains a massive Achilles heel for today's popular culture. Everybody thinks that it's a dog eat dog world, and you get out there and you do as much as you can and fuck everybody else. Yeah, I'm going to be on top. But then when it's a mortal threat, isn't somebody else going to deal with that? That's an awesome point, Stuart.
Yeah. That's ridiculous, but true.
Fuck. Right on. What a happy fucking show.
Yeah. Well, awesome. We got through it quick. Did we go through everything?
I think so, and more.
And more.
No, wait, there's more.
You know what? We should just do that. We should just say the top few topics and ... and more.
Yeah, that's true. That'll work.
It's always tangents. But yeah, tomorrow, like I said, we're going to hopefully be doing a live show from Washington. Well, people be calling in from Washington, D.C. at the Nazi rally, or the Unite the Right, as the Nazis call it. These are the same people that last year murdered Heather Heyer, pulled guns on people, beat D. Harris within an inch of his life right next to the police station, whether a police standing by. Just terrorized the whole city, surrounded a synagogue with tiki torches in a Klan style kind of threats. They're just terrible scum, and now they're going to Washington, D.C. because their favorite guy lives there. The guy who enables them the most lives there. So we're going to have people opposing them, lots and lots of people opposing them, probably outnumbering them. I can't even imagine how much they'll be outnumbered in D.C., but they'll be vastly outnumbered. I'm doing a prediction right now, Glenn. The police will be protecting the fascists only, maybe attacking the people with the fascists. And it's how it always goes. So we're going to try to have people call in and give us some reports from there tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Wednesday, view up here, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern, right, Glenn?
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
I'm just curious, is there any probability for where this is going to be in D.C.?
Oh, you know what? I have it. I just have to find it. I have all the addresses and stuff, or the areas.
Because I do find it a little interesting that the crowds that turn up every night, I think it's outside the South Lawn, that's been going on for close to a month now. I'm yet to be aware of it being on any corporate media, but it's still there, and it's not going away. I guess they're still leaving them alone because there's just not enough of them to make that sort of a scene, because if they do that, it will be all over corporate media. So maybe they're just trying to wait them out. It's a game of attrition. But I'm just curious if there's any possibility that those people are going to come into contact with the UTR crowds?
I don't know. I gotta go through all these DMs. It's way up where they're sending me stuff.
Well, whatever. I can find it. I was just, saying.
Give me a second. I'm still looking. Oh, here we go. Oh, man. It just says disrupt UTR2, Charlottesville, Virginia, 811. Washington, D.C. Oh, it's on the 12th. It's not tomorrow. I was way off, you guys. Sorry about that. He told me it was fake. I swear he told me it was tomorrow.
Fake news.
It's on the 12th, so it's next week. I'm so sorry, but you know what? Everything I say still stands. We're going to do it on the 12th. Hey, that's one less thing I got to do on the 4th. But they are going to Portland tomorrow, so if I get someone from Portland, I'll still have them call in and we'll do a show with them. So that's still happening.
Apparently the Portland police are dealing with this much different than last year already. And they've already said publicly that there are going to be weapons checks at all entrances to this, wherever it's going on. So they're going to try and make sure they're the only ones with weapons. And we'll see where it goes from there. Because, that sounds good in practice, but,
Yeah.
I think it just kind of guarantees that none of the fascists will get arrested because we disarmed them all. So now the only people with clubs are the guys with badges. Be that what it may.
It's always the same thing, man.
I don't know, man. I'm just, so far we don't have that sort of thing up here to that degree, not anywhere near that degree. Like anywhere in Canada, for any sort of Soldiers of Odin or fucking 3% or whatever group, if there's 100 of them, that's massive. Most of the time it's like 10 to 20.
Yeah, well, Charlottesville, there's 400, right? Approximate. Yeah. That's the biggest ever.
And that's in a very small town.
Yeah, they never have numbers like that in Los Angeles. I mean, obviously it's not their area, but I mean, nowhere else. The only place they have numbers like that is like a Trump rally when Trump shows up. But most of those people wouldn't just go to a Nazi rally. They're there because Trump is there. They feel safe. They have security. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
It's like all the fascists and racists in one room together, and they're protected by the government. So
no comment.
The fascists are always cowards, man. They always are behind the police. When there's no police, they're running.
Well, exactly. If there was 400 of them, there's no way they would come to L.A. There's just no way. They pick a place with a population of 4,000? And half of the town's out of town because it's fucking summer?
And then you need to come with 10,000 people to flood the 4,000 capacity town and run them out from all around. You know what I mean? They just need to not be safe anywhere. They need to be in fear every day of their lives, watching their back. I say it every week. Make them crawl back into their little holes and stay there.
I don't know. It seems a couple people are like 12th, man. Wow. Whatever. It's an early promo.
Okay, so I screwed up. Yeah, I got the one in Portland, and then we got the one in Washington. Portland, Washington, they're like right next door. They're so close. They almost sound the same. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're only about, 3,000 miles apart?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
And they both start with the letter Q.
Well played.
Yeah. So now, yeah, I guess that's it, Glenn. You got anything else?
No, we're done now.
Now we're done. Y'all can go home now. I don't know why I think they're not listening at home. I like to think they're like all in a big room listening to us. Cool. So thank everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week, or maybe tomorrow if anyone from Portland calls in. If not, next week. And yeah, for anybody who didn't hear, the Unite the Right is on the 12th. We said the 4th. I said the 4th at the beginning, and that was my mistake. So ignore everything I said before right now on the show. All right. I'll talk to you later, Glenn. I'll talk to everybody else next week. Bye.